Here we are. Oh, I can't see. Ah. Oh, hi everyone. As you can see, I've got two friends with me today. Can you let go of that table, please? Thank you very much. You know what these are, don't you? Wee pumpkin man and a pumpkin skeleton. Now, what does that mean? It means we're coming up for Halloween, doesn't it? Yeah, well, if I put these guys aside, I'll explain what this video is all about. Okay, I'll put you down as well, because I need room. Right, you sit there. Right, here we go. Now, normally at Halloween time, you think of pumpkins, don't you? And you think to yourself, yeah, I'll get a pumpkin, I'll carve it and do a spooky face. And well, I'm not doing that this year. Well, I am doing a pumpkin, but there's something else I'm doing this year. I'm going back to tradition, and I'm going to do a turnip like this. Very hard and very hard to carve. Notoriously difficult. I've seen people using power tools, they use hammers and chisels, and then once they do that, they're in with a spoon, a tablespoon that you have your cereal with. Oh my goodness, they're in with knives and scoring at it and trying to get it all softened up. Uh, it's very hard on the hands and wrists, and God knows. But I'm here today to show you a simpler method. One that works. It works well for me. And what you will need is a bread knife like this, serrated bread knife, a paring knife. You'll also need a Sharpie pen to do the face or whatever design you're going to do on your finished product, because it makes it the Sharpie pens are actually, get a black one. The Sharpie pens are actually really good at sticking, because there's a sort of waxy surface on there. You use a ballpoint pen or something, it doesn't work so well. So try the Sharpie pen. But here is the ultimate weapon. You'll be surprised. It's the humble melon baller, just like this. This is a tool that will make it very simple. Well, simple-ish as it can be, but it's a lot less effort than using all the other methods that they used in the past days. So I'm going to take you into the kitchen, because it can become a bit messy, especially with bits of turnip. I'm not used to pumpkins. Bits of turnip flying all over the place. So let's take this guy into the kitchen and I'll show you how it's done. Okay, so follow me. Now then, I've got everything that I need, including the Sharpie pen. I need that. That's very important for later. So I've got my melon baller, I've got my knife, and I'll put them to one side. And you also need a receptacle like this, just to put the balls in. And you can use them for soup and stuff. Don't fling them away. You can save them. But if you're picking a turnip, try and pick one with a flat bottom like that. You know, then it sits nice once you have it ready and lit. Now you start off with your bread knife and you cut about, I'd say about half an inch off the top, like that. The bread knife makes short work of it. There we are. And you save that. That's your lid now. So save that, put it aside. And then you've got your turnip. Right. Now, I don't need that bread knife now, I just need that for cutting. Right, so you get your melon baller, and this is when you begin. Now try not to dig into the skin. Try not to do that. Just dig into the flesh, and you'll find as you go on, you've actually got an edge, you see. So all you do basically to start off, you'll need some leverage. So I'm standing, you see, and then give it a twist, and oops, that popped out, and you end up with these. You see these melon balls, turnip balls. That's a melon baller, and you put them into your receptacle for later. And you keep on doing that. You just keep working your way around. I just slipped it. Yeah, sometimes bits fly all over the place, so it's not exactly a... Where'd that bit go? I've lost a bit down there. Now I'll keep working away at this. And basically that's all you do. You just keep digging in, spinning round. And before you know it, you've actually made headway. You see how it's starting to dent now, making a dent, and I've only just started. But you do that all the way. Just keep digging away, turn around. See, it helps if if you press the melon ball with your fingers, just to give it a head. Maybe a head start. There we go. See, I'm working away at this. There we are. See, and that's filling up already. See how easy that is. There we are. Keep digging away and digging away. And before you know it, you will have this turnip hollowed out. And that was a bit there we are. That was a bit tough, that bit. But you do get tough bits. There we are. Now, while I'm doing this, did I ever tell you the story about Stingy Jack? If I didn't, I'm going to tell you now. Well, basically, this story is how the hollowed out turnips came to be. And it involved a very stingy old man called Stingy Jack. And he used to trick people out of money and all sorts of stuff. And he never paid for anything. He got everything free because he tricked everyone. And he was a horrible, horrible person. So one day he was walking along a country lane and the devil showed up. And Stingy Jack says, "And who are you?" And the devil said, "Well, I'm the devil. I've come to collect you, to take you to hell." Well, Stingy Jack says, "Oh, wait a minute." So he thought he'd try something, and there was an apple tree nearby. And he said to the devil, "Well, if you're going to take me, could you possibly let me have an apple before I go? Because I'm absolutely starving." And so the devil agreed to let him have an apple. And Stingy Jack, being the trickster that he is, spotted a really big juicy apple way up at the top of this very tall tree. And he said to the devil, "That's the apple I want, and I can't reach it." He says, "You being the devil with wings, could you possibly go up there and get me that apple?" So the devil reluctantly agreed, and he went up to the top part of the tree to get this apple. But while he was doing that, Stingy Jack surrounded the bottom of the tree with crucifixes, which meant the devil was trapped up there and couldn't get back down again. So he made a deal with the devil. He says, "I'll tell you what, if you leave me for 20 years and not come back," he says, "I will remove the crucifixes to set you free." So the devil reluctantly agreed. And so Stingy Jack removed the crucifixes. The devil got down from the tree and left Stingy Jack alone for 20 years. 20 years pass. And the devil came back for Stingy Jack and says, "Well, time's up. This is it. I made my promise." And Stingy Jack says, "Can I have one more drink in the pub before we go? Because I'm really thirsty." Again, the devil agreed. And he went into the pub with Stingy Jack to have a drink. And look how far I've got so far. Brilliant, isn't it? And so Stingy Jack said to the devil, once the drinks were served, he says, "I haven't got any money to pay for these." He says, "But I tell you what, you being the devil, you can change shape and turn into anything you like." He says, "If you turn into a coin, then I can pay for the drinks and then you can take me to hell. the devil says, oh, yeah, okay. So the devil turned into a coin, and instead of paying for the drinks, Stingy Jack put the coin in his pocket where there was another crucifix, and that again held the devil prisoner. So he made a deal with the devil. He says, if you give me another 10 years, he says, and not come back for me in those 10 years, I'll set you free. So the devil once again reluctantly agreed, and he didn't come back for Stingy Jack for 10 years. But in between times, Stingy Jack actually did die. And when he went to the gates of heaven, they wouldn't accept him and says, no, you don't belong here. You're evil, you're bad. You belong downstairs in hell. So Stingy Jack went down to hell, and who was there but the devil? And the devil says to him, what are you doing here? He says, I died, I've been sick. He says, no, we don't want you here. Stingy Jack said, what? He says, and the devil went, no, you've tricked me far too many times. I'm going to send you to purgatory. The purgatory is a place where the dead walk the earth in perpetual darkness. So before he sent Stingy Jack to purgatory, he felt sorry for him, so he gave him a glowing ember out of hell so he could see his way in the pitch darkness. But the ember was far too hot to handle. So, oops, hang on. Stingy Jack got a turnip like this and hollowed it out. And he put the ember inside the turnip, and he put holes along it, the edges, and a wee scary face so as he could light his way in the dark. So, to this day, Stingy Jack is walking in perpetual hell on earth somewhere, but he only has the lighted turnip to show his way. That is how carved out turnips were born. Was that interesting? Probably not. Anyway, while I've been talking to you, look at that. I've done a really good bit. That's really deep. And that didn't take too long. So all you're doing now, you just keep hollowing it out. Like that. And when you try and get the walls, relatively thin, about an inch from the end. That'll do fine. And you'll find the melon baller. Make short work of that as well. You can get in, keep digging away. And you can also use the melon baller to scrape inside to smooth everything out, you see. And that includes, you get lots of this scraped turnip. But like I said, don't part with it, don't fling it away. Put it into soup. Because it's far too good, because that's great. That's good vegetables, that. I think I can do a wee bit more here. Get it a bit thinner. It's great for when you reach the bottom part, because you can get it quite flat. There we are. That's looking good. There's bits on the side there. There we are. There you are. That's. I'm actually almost ready. A few more bits to carve out. That edge there. Cut some of that away. As I say, just be careful that you don't go over the edges. You don't want to damage that. You want to keep that. Sometimes you can even get the knife and scrape it too if you wanted to. Or since I've actually got it like that, I can get a tablespoon. That also gives it a. Since I've got it hollowed up, I can scrape the edges. See, you get all this. I'm almost there. Yeah, see how easy that was? Well, I've moved over to a different part of the kitchen now, just to test. I've actually hollowed it out and flattened the bottom a bit. I just wanted to see if a candle will sit quite flat inside, like that, you see. Let me show you in a sec. And there's the candle. Let's see. Is it fit? Yes, very flat. Perfect. So all I have to do now is start carving the face. Now, as you can see, I've gone ahead and just done a rough face on this. So this is the next step before you light the candle. You put the candle in, light it, put the lid on. So simply, all you do now is you follow the contours of what you've drawn as careful as you can. It doesn't matter if you overlap with a knife. Oops, I went right down there. That happens sometimes, don't worry about it. That'll be alright. It's just to get a rough, there we are, that's an eye out. You'll see I went straight down with the knife there. It can slip sometimes, so just be careful of that. That was a bit heavy handed. And straight up to the point. And you keep doing that until you got all the bits hollowed out. Sometimes a bit sticks, but you just put the knife in and give it a jiggle. And that's the eyes. Now for the nose. This is a tricky bit as well, don't want to overdo it. There we are. Right. And across there. There we are. So that's two eyes and a nose now. When it comes to the mouth, you don't have to be too pernickety about that, because it's just a rough mouth that you're doing. That's the beauty of these. You don't have to be spot on. You're just doing a rough, scary mouth. I'll come from the bottom there for that bit just to there. Remember that. There we are. Try and join that. That's it. Almost there. On here. And that last bit there. Hopefully it'll come out in one piece. Sometimes they don't. Sometimes you've got to go back in with the knife again. My hand's not in the way too much. There we are. Just to loosen a bit. There we are. So that's all those pieces all out now. They can be flung away. You don't need them. But as I said before, keep all the bits that you've hollowed out to make soup with. That's very handy. Now what you'll find sometimes is if you look inside the eyes, you can actually cut bits away from the inside just to give a better light effect. That's easy to do. You just cut bits like that. There we are. It's just because sometimes it can be a bit deep. So all I'm doing is cutting away some of the flesh from the inside. You don't have to be pernickety about it, because back in the day they weren't, and they didn't have the tools we've got now, so it must have been very hard, very difficult. I'll cut a bit away from the inside of the mouth, just at the back as well. That's it, just to... That's it, nearly there. It's almost time to put the candle in. I'm just cutting this wee bit from the top of the mouth here. I don't want to snap it. Just be careful. There we are. Smooth it out a wee bit. I'll cut a bit from in there. There we are. That's basically it, complete. Let's get those bits out. There we are. They can get flung away again. In fact, they're all right, those bits. They can actually go into the soup. But there you are, that's basically it. It's just a matter of putting the candle in and the lid back on. Let's see what it looks like. Now for the good bit. It's time to place the tea light candle inside the turnip and see what it looks like. Now the candle is inside the turnip. Let's get it lit and see what it looks like. Yeah. There we go. And now simply place the lid on. Now before I put the lid on, some people put a small hole just at the top, and it acts like a chimney, but most of the time you can actually get away with enough oxygen going through the eyes, nose and mouth to keep the candle lit, because sometimes there's not enough oxygen going through. But if that happens, you just simply cut a small hole in the middle of the lid, and there you have it. A traditional Halloween turnip. Let's put the light out and see what it looks like. There you go. Isn't that spooky? That's how you do it, and that didn't take long. No, while I was talking to you, while I was hollowing it out, it only took me about 10 minutes. So that's how you do a traditional Halloween turnip. So I hope this video was educational for you. I would like to see you try it yourself. It's so easy, just get yourself a melon baller and you'll get the job done and no problem. So until the next video, it's goodbye from me, goodbye from my friend, and a happy and safe Halloween to all. Goodbye.